Well, I figured we'd do something different today. Normally I'd be out in Bodega Bay or Tamales or even San Francisco, but the weather's not that great. It's pretty nice here, but instead of braving the waves and all that, I decided, maintenance is what we're gonna do today. So I got the boat, it's up here on the trailer, and salt water is not our friend. So there's a few things that I have to repair. So you see here, this line here is my ground. It broke and I had to cut it a few times just to get it. It's got that white powdery stuff in there from basically it rotting from the salt water. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna replace this. And then again, because I'm new and I'm learning, and this is my first season crabbing with the boat and the first season with the boat, trial and error. So we did a couple of upgrades. I'll bring you over here. There's a lot of equipment when you're crabbing, and there's a lot of rope, and we want to be able to set at a couple of depths. So we have here, we've got basically three 200, probably a little bit more than 200 feet of line, and then so we want to be able to try out at that depth. So anyways, I got these new straps, and these are marked yellow red. That way I know if I look at a yellow red, that's 200 plus feet, and there's 3 of them. So I also have an extension. This one's red, so this will be able to hook on to one of these other ones. Yellow is 115 feet. At least that's what I'm doing. You guys are going to do whatever you do, and comment and let me know what you guys are doing. And basically I'm just looking for something that's efficient and something that I can not have a ton. I was going with buckets, and I was putting the rope in the buckets, but then the buckets take a ton of room in the boat, and it just wasn't working. So anyways, we currently have 7 hoops, and these are the upgraded hoops with weight. So I've got 700 feet, 115 foot sets of line, and then we got 3 of the 200 and plus. And then I've also got this 100, which can be easily hooked onto one of these, which will make my 200 plus. So we can efficiently fish between like 110 feet all the way up to like 210 feet to try the different depths. The other thing is the buoys. So I redid the buoys. Originally had leader lines on this, and this was going to give me, so the lines were exactly 100 feet, and then I had the leader lines with the buoys. Well, that is not the way to go. So they just get hooked up on stuff. These I guess it'd be like carabiners, or the jewelry they call it, to hook up to the line. It does not pull through the pot puller very good. It'd get wound up. So now there isn't anything really. It's just rope on rope for the 115 feet. Then we've got the buoy, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another one of these, and these will just permanently be on the traps. So I'll grab one of these and call it traps, but these are hoops. So we'll just permanently leave this on here. So now when we're out there and everything is kind of stowed and we're putting together to go ahead and crab, all we need to do is put our bait pack in there, hook onto whatever length of rope we're going to use, and then attach the buoy. The other thing that I learned is we were throwing the trap first and then messing with the rope, getting the rope out with the buoy. Definitely not efficient. So now what we do is we'll hook the buoy to the rope, toss it over, get the end of the rope, hook it to here, and then maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour. Just let all your rope go out behind the boat. It untangles everything, and then the last thing you do is toss your pot over, and you're good to go. Then mark it on GPS, let it sit for, I would say average, maybe an hour and 20, up to like hour and 45 minutes. If you got enough bait in there, it really doesn't matter. As long as there's bait, the crabs are going to stay. The more the merrier. I think one of our lines, I call it a line, so we had 7 out. We did 1 pull of 7, and we got 26 keepers in the first pull of the 7 hoops, which was pretty good. And we were basically able to limit out within two drops of 7, which that's not bad. Next year I'll probably grab 3 more hoops, so we've got 7 out or 10 out, and you figure if you average, whatever you're getting, if you get like 1 or 2 per, you're getting at least 1 or 2 limits at the least, but you could possibly limit out in 1 set of 10. So we're gonna do an oil change. We're gonna change the spark plugs. We're gonna change the fuel filter and obviously the oil filter. But another issue that I encountered out there is how many crabs do we have? Because you've got a few guys back there and they're counting, and things get messed up. And so if you got 4 guys in the boat, that's 40 crabs, or 5 guys, 50 crabs. Crabs are moving around. You might have crabs in a cooler, some crabs in a bucket, or some crabs in one cooler, other crabs in the other cooler. That is a nightmare, and that does not work. So I got a whiteboard, and there's a perfect spot on the back of the bulkhead of the boat where I can go ahead and install this, and then as the crabs come up, the keepers, we can actually mark on this whiteboard where everybody can see it back there how many crabs are actually in the boat at that point in time. Not trying to remember, not trying to say, oh, what number did you come up with, or what number did you come up with, is right there after each pull. We can write down those numbers in real time and know exactly what's in the boat. That way there's no issues with being over, or basically we want to make sure that we're in compliance and we know at all times exactly what's in there. Whether it's crab, fish, halibut, lingcod, it doesn't matter. It's great to have a way to write down at the time what's going on, so that way you've got hard numbers and you know exactly what's in the boat, because it can get confusing when you've got multiple people in there. All right, so this is the back of the boat, and right here is a perfect spot to put a whiteboard. But also just going over some things that we did. I don't know if you caught it in the last videos, but in the original videos, if you looked on the sides, these are the gunnels, these were teak, and they were garbage. They were garbage when they were first incepted on this boat, and over the years, it's a 40-year-old boat, and they became more garbage. But anyways, so we put this diamond plate aluminum in, and it's amazing. We got rod holders. We went with the Scotty system. There's another system that I really like that I think is absolutely amazing, but it's just too expensive and I can't justify it right now, but eventually we'll see what happens down the road. But we have this amazing diamond plate. We've got the pot puller mount right here, and honestly this would have never worked on the teak. The teak was too weak. It would have broken to pieces. We would have lost everything. It would have been an epic fail. But anyways, we got the bimini mounts mounted up on the new gunnels. The new gunnels are as strong can be. I decided to rivet it in, and if we need to make changes, we'll just draw out the rivets, pull it, and do whatever we need to do for upgrades in the future. But there was teak down rails, and they were in the boat, in the way. You'd walk and you just get caught up on it, and eventually they were going to break free. The other thing is you could put, like, they had hooks that were in those wood pieces But again, the length here wasn't, you couldn't put rods in there. You could put your boat hook, a gaff, and that was pretty much it. Not worth it. Totally not worth it. The gains of getting rid of it altogether is worth more than having it there for a boat hook. Now we've got rod holders here on each side. I've also got rod holders that I mounted on the side of the boat. There's plenty of room for rod holders. At a certain point, we also got a receptacle in here, and this will work for the puller. It's a Scotty system, so eventually if salmon season ever opens up and we put downriggers on, the downriggers come with receptacles. They'll be able to use this one. We'll go with 2 downriggers, and I'll wire the other side of the boat with another receptacle, and then the downriggers will mount on towards the back of the boat, and we'll be all set up for that. But I really doubt they're going to open the season. Abalone is supposed to open up in 2025 next year, which is right around the corner. I don't think that's going to happen either, but if it did, I'd probably put on a wetsuit and get out there, because I remember getting those when I was a kid, and that would be absolutely amazing. I haven't had abalone in a lot of years. I don't even remember what they taste like. I just know they're good. But we'll see what happens next year. There's a lot of rules and laws and things here in the state. The kelp isn't where it should be. It's not as thick and as spread out like it used to be when I was a kid, so I know that's a big part of it. But anyways, so we're going to clean off this surface. This is going to be a great space for the whiteboard. You watch, this could be an epic fail also, but you got to do something. You could almost use that as a whiteboard. But hopefully it's warm enough to do this. Hopefully I don't screw this up. Hopefully I'm doing this by eye. Kind of committed now. So this is an Amazon product. I got one that had plastic, so hopefully it's waterproof or resistant. So let's go ahead and do the peel.
The satisfying move.
The satisfying peel. So there we go. All right, this just upped our boat value by 20 million. Yeah, right. This is gonna be a good upgrade. So let's see what we got. We'll see, hopefully. I don't know how the salt water is going to work with it. Hopefully it ends up being a win. So, all right. So it came with some stuff. Obviously, this isn't going to remain out there because it will definitely blow away. But and who knows if we'll even use this. I mean, it's nice. It's got a little holder, a little eraser. So let's see. Says no ghosting. I don't know how good that's gonna be, but again, we'll try it out. We'll see what happens. But oh yeah, it cleans right off. That works. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use this to keep track of our crabs and our fish and whatever else we're doing. Accurate numbers are important. It'll get you in trouble if you don't keep accurate counts. So, let's see if we can fit this in here. And we'll just keep this on the boat. Probably don't need all of this stuff in here, but we'll keep this on the boat, and when we get to fishing, this is where we'll keep our numbers.
There we go.
All right, we got a fuel water separator filter. We're gonna put this on. The boat at the time before I got it in the water, the first time of me owning it, it hadn't seen the water for over 6 years. So it had some old fuel in it. We're in the process of running the old fuel with new fuel and get it all burned out. So I've been changing this pretty regularly to keep it clean. And then we're going to try some new spark plugs, different spark plugs. These are the E3s, pre-gapped. They're better than what's in there. There's old Champions in there now. I've not done the plugs. They didn't look bad when I originally looked at them, but they need to be changed. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do that in a minute. We're gonna take care of the fuel filter first, and then this is gonna be a 2-day thing. Obviously my 2 days is gonna be by in moments in internet YouTube time. But I'm waiting for the oil pump to be able to suck the oil out. And plus we'll get it running, get it to temperature, which will make it a lot easier to get it out. It will be the second oil change that we've done on this thing since we've had it. So you have to keep it from getting stuck on there. You've got to put a little bit of oil on the rubber seal. This is super, super important. I don't know how many of you guys do this, but it's necessary. Otherwise, that and not doing it frequently will get it stuck, and you're running into the same problems that I've run into in the past. The old one. In here. Alright, so we got the fuel filter on. It was a pain, but it's on. So we got the old one. We're gonna get rid of that. So these are the new plugs. We got one out already, so we're gonna just stick this one in. We gotta take the ends off. And so I'll just stick this back in here, close this up. We'll just put these right here, got a little working area. But anyways, kind of weird. I don't know if you can see the end of that tip. They say more power, more efficiency. Who knows? All I know is with a tip like that, there's no way you can gap them, so hopefully they're supposed to be pre-gapped. So here we go. I mean, I know what the motor was doing before putting these in, and we'll see if it does any good. So this one here is already out. All right, so I'm gonna stick this in. It's supposed to be a spark plug socket, but because we don't have that end on there, it's not gonna stick like it's supposed to. So let's see what we can do. Snug them down a bit. Nothing crazy. And then move on to the next.
Record.
See, that plug doesn't look terrible. It actually looks pretty clean. But we're gonna go with the new ones.
Guess my new ones are always the best.
We'll see. Your needle nose. So we're gonna.
Very rusty too.
Yeah, that's what salt water does. So we're gonna just.
The corrosive nature of salt water. Finally got it.
Maybe. Hopefully. Alright. Oh, that one's not. That's a little more crispy. The gap on it is a lot wider. All right, so I'm just gonna set that there. Grab another. Well, not exactly what I wanted. A second. All right, so all right, using my my built-in torque wrench. Huh. Well, that's awesome. See, this is what should hold the plug, but it doesn't, because we're not using the ends on the plug, but it should grab the side of the plug, but it doesn't. And then so the distributor is electronic, it's been replaced. Plugs, new. Coolant is good. Self-contained with the heat exchanger. This is a heat exchanger. cleaned this out the other day. There shouldn't be anything in there, and there's not. All right, heat exchanger, coolant, fuel filter, plugs. So this is our spark arrestor and our manifold here. This is a single barrel carburetor, which sucks. It really sucks. But I'm not trying to do too much too quick, because it's about doing something and seeing what the return is, and then doing something and then seeing what the return is. So right now, this is all solid, reliable, works. So it's just about prop, getting the right pitch, the right size. I'm trying to get what they call an elephant ear prop. The one I got was a long shaft, but this is not a long shaft boat. It's a short shaft. At least I hope it's a short shaft, because it could be a standard. But I'm assuming that standard and short are the same. I don't know. Anybody that does, leave me a comment. But I've got a short 15 diameter with a 17-inch pitch coming. So we originally started out with the boat with the 14 diameter and a 19-inch pitch. Boat totally unloaded, 3 guys on the boat, it'd do a solid 20 miles an hour. Well, I'm trying to get to 25. I don't think that's that much to ask. I think with all the upgrades to the motor and the right prop, I think we can do that with this boat. The original prop with the 14 diameter and 19 pitch loaded up, with all the crab gear, 4 guys on the boat, we maybe did 11 miles an hour out there. So that wasn't good. So then we turned around and we went to a little bit bigger prop. I think it's like a 14.5 diameter with a 15-inch pitch, and we could get a pretty solid 15 to 17 miles an hour out there. So we're doing better, but we do have RPMs to play with. I think the RPMs originally was around 4,800 is what I was getting off of the original smaller prop, and then now I'm getting a little over 4,000. And again, this is just me, but I'm thinking the sweet spot is going to be right around 3,800. So if I can get a 15-inch diameter with a 17-inch pitch, and I can get somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,900 RPM, I think I'm okay with that, depending on what the final speed is. If I can increase my speed, fully loaded gear, to a solid 20 loaded, I think that's cool, because we're not going to be loaded all the time. That means it will increase my speed if I'm not crabbing and I'm just going out there fishing with a few guys. We'll just see what happens. And then I know eventually when we get to the new manifold and the double barrel carburetor, this will also increase our horsepower, and maybe, I don't know if we'll do it, but maybe we might play with the cam. We might pull the cam out and go with a little bit more aggressive cam. I'm not sure if I'm willing to go that far into the motor, because this motor has been a great motor so far. It's solid. All the reviews on it, it's like the little red motor that won't die. So motor's 40 years old too. We'll see what happens. All right, so the ground wire rotted. I had a temporary fix. I cut it. We're gonna install a new wire. So I'm gonna take this off. All jacked up, so we'll take this off. We'll save this. Hopefully it doesn't fall. we got a new piece here. I'm just gonna, I cut this way back to get hopefully past the corrosion. Still see a little bit of white in there. That's not good. We'll see what happens. Go ahead and get the heat gun. Okay, that gives us more room. All sealed up, both sides. Better connection. Not rigged. Alright, so we got the plugs in. We got the fuel filter, water separator in. Oil chain's gonna have to wait. I'm still waiting for a container. I don't know if that's gonna come in time. But we did, this is a second day. We started on Saturday, and anyways, after we did the fuel filter, I wasn't able to start it. I don't know if I flooded it or if it wasn't getting enough fuel or what the deal was, but sometimes you got to walk away knowing that this was going to take a couple of days because I didn't have all the parts. Anyways, came out this morning and it started. It doesn't start up great, you know, for the first time, but once it warms up and it's running, it's solid, like totally reliable. So I got parts coming. I have a new a new manifold, a new gasket coming, and then a new carburetor. This is a single barrel. I got a double barrel carburetor. I think it's gonna solve a lot of my issues. This is an electronic distributor, so no points in there. The motor doesn't have a choke on it. I think that's where my issues are, because it's only on the first start. Once it warms up, we're good. But again, there's no choke. The new one is coming with the electronic automatic choke, which I'm hoping is going to solve all the issues that I have with the first start of the morning. But anyways, this is done for now. Buttoned up, clean, ready to go. So we have a water issue. When it rains, water flows towards the front of the boat, depending on how the trailer is, you know, the level. On the water, I stayed a night on it and went through a rainstorm, and the same thing when it sits in the water, water will flow to the front from the back. So I've resealed around the bottom and the edges on the outside, and I resealed on the inside, so hopefully that's going to stop that problem. We got this put in yesterday. This is a new whiteboard. This is what we'll keep track of our catch. And then off camera, this really isn't a big deal, but we wanted something to hold a phone, so we use the phone for apps, for keeping track of the weather or whatever. There's some really good. Navionics is a really good app. So anyways, I wanted something to secure the phone. You can see the windows right here. If you set your phone here and for some reason it slides, boom, it's in the water, it's gone forever. I was putting the phone down here, but then again, also just moves, falls. I just wanted something secure for the phone. This is clean. All these switches, the whole top set is used. We got one on the bottom. This one I have to mark, but this one now is used. We added power. I had somebody ask me, hey, can you charge your phone? You got a receptacle or something on the boat to charge your phone? I was like, no, I haven't gotten to that yet. So here we are. I put it here because in that way I ordered a short cord. It will get here soon. It'll be able to plug right in to where the cradle is. I guess if you're staying the night, got a longer cord, you could stretch it across. Eventually, I'm going to put a power strip. I have it already pre-plumbed wire. I just got to get a flush mounted power strip to put back here. And then all the electrical is in here. But anyways, so you flip the switch on and this thing will come on. We got a type A and 2 USB-Cs. It even has a power on and off to turn this on and off, which kind of redundant. I got it set up on the switch. That's all I need. And it's got a little readout on it. But it looks clean, looks nice, it's there. And now we can charge our phones on the boat. Cleaned up here. That's pretty much it. Like, we did some upgrades. Obviously, you know, you could do a lot, put a lot into the boat, but it's more of a marathon and not a sprint. So over time, we'll use it and we'll figure out what we need, what we don't need, and we'll just adapt from there. So, like this cup holder, I had put this in a while back because it didn't have one. There's one on this side, you know, for the passenger, but you know what? The pilot of the boat needs a cup holder. This was a make it or break it thing. This was a must, so we got this in there, and it gets used every time we go out. So this was our maintenance weekend. It's Sunday. We started on Saturday. Again, the oil change, we'll probably do that during the week. I may or may not record that. We'll see how it goes, but tentatively planning on getting on the water hopefully Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I have Thanksgiving week off, and so yeah, I want to get out there and get as much water time as I can. Anyways, until then, like and subscribe. I always forget to say, hey, subscribe to the channel. It really does help out. I know everybody says that has a channel, but we're trying to get to our 1,000 subscribers. That's going to be our goal. So maybe we'll do something special, make up some t-shirts. In the future, I'd like to take people out and hang out, make some new friends, people that watch the channel that are local. You can come out and hang out with us. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Thank you for not liking and subscribing, but watching the video and spending time with us. So until next time, real salty.